Right then guys, I hope you can hear me okay, and just to give you a little rundown, because as some of you guys may notice, I'm in a different location and not in the home gym, not on my typical local gym. So as I've been discussing a while on the channel, I'm currently traveling. Okay, so right now I'm in Thailand, I'm in Bangkok, and this is going to be a quick session that I'm going to film in the hotel gym. So currently the time is 9:21, so I've got about 40 minutes to get a crazy bicep pump going. Now, they're not super strict here. I doubt they'll kick me out bang on the dot, but I do want to be respectful. And yeah, that's about the time frame that I've got. So for me, I do really want to focus on just the biceps. I think if I tried to do an arm session, it'd be far too rushed. And yeah, just to kind of give you a rundown of what I've been doing this week, I've done one crazy session, which you would have already seen, and that was at the Muscle Factory gym, which I trained back and biceps. And then pretty much I've had about 10 days off of legs, half just to give myself a rest and my knee, but also because I haven't been to any other gyms. I walked 3 gyms around the local area. One of them was just like an abandoned building. The other one was like a football club basically that was kind of misadvertised on Google, and then the other one I literally got like chased down the road or kind of herded out by a fucking pack of barking dogs. So that didn't go to plan, but basically I've just been rotating triceps, biceps, shoulders, and then obviously I did that back and bicep session there. So yeah, haven't been taking a week off by any means, but what I have been doing every single morning is I've upped my cardio to now minimum 60 minutes, which is a lot for me. So this is probably the first diet phase where I've tried to do cardio near enough every single day. In the past, I've had periods where I'll set myself a goal for the week, but yeah, it's been working really well. So without further ado, I'm gonna basically start warming up, and I'll talk you guys through the warm up as well, because we obviously haven't got too long in this gym. So even if I do biceps and triceps, I'll always warm up my rotator cuffs and my shoulders, just because I feel that they are still involved in pretty much every single movement that I'm doing. So just going for a few on the left arm, a few on the right arm, and then we'll get into the session. So yeah, the plan is I'm going to be getting a sleeper train tomorrow up to Chiang Mai. So that is where I'm going to be staying for a much longer period of time. And I've actually booked one nice Airbnb for the whole duration. So the reason for that was I just wanted to basically enjoy being in one spot and not having to constantly move around. And I know that I'm going to enjoy Chiang Mai, at least I'm pretty much certain I will. So it seemed like a good place to do that. And then after that, I'll be going to Vietnam, and then, after that, I'll be going down to the south, to the islands, to the beaches, etc. And then I'll be going to Vietnam for a little while, and then back to Thailand to finish off the trip. But depending on kind of how much I enjoy, the north and the south, that'll then dictate how much time I choose to spend in those places respectively when I come back to Thailand after Vietnam to renew my visa. So yeah, so far ship's been going really well. I've managed to get my protein in at least 200 to realistically 220 grams of protein every single day. Now, one of my mates, I won't out him, but he's been to Thailand and he kind of said to me like it was pretty hard to get your protein in. I'm not gonna lie, that is just not the case. It's so fucking easy here. Like, they've got so many cooked meals in 7-Eleven that they can literally heat up for you. They've got protein shakes everywhere, obviously street food. If you're brave enough to try that, you can ask for extra portions. It's really not that difficult, guys. I've been for long periods of time in Mexico, in Spain, all over the place, and I'd say this is probably the cheapest and easiest readily available protein content that I've ever had access to. So if you are thinking about traveling, don't just write off your progress and think that you have to just put your goals on hold. Obviously I'm here for a matter of months, so it's very, very important for me, for my career, for my goals, for my hobby, that I maintain my level of fitness, and well, not maintain at all actually, always improve. So if you guys follow on the channel, you know that I absolutely hate the idea of maintenance. I think that's a fool's paradise. And it just will never make me happy or satisfied to stay in one position. So that's why I'm currently dieting, and I'm really, really pushing this diet, like super high cardio, at least an hour every day, sometimes 70 minutes, sometimes 80 minutes. Doing it on the treadmill here because the seated bike there is absolutely horrible. I could never do really more than like 20, 30 minutes on that because the seat's uncomfortable. But I'm really, really excited to go to Chiang Mai and basically find some kind of local gyms. I want to find 2 or 3 that I can rotate, and that way it's going to keep things exciting. Obviously, at the moment, I've only had access to the hotel gym, aside from that one session, which has been Smith machine, dumbbells. They have got a barbell, but it's not got enough weight to do anything on it at all. I could do bicep curls with a barbell, but not a straight bar. So anyway, enough talking. So what I'm going to do, just to make things really simple, is I'm going to do some rope hammer curls to start off the session, and then I'm going to move on to some dumbbells. So as I said, the dumbbells that they've got, or the barbell that they've got, is pretty much useless. The dumbbells go up to 20 kg, so I can use those for incline curls, but if I started with those, I'll be getting way too many reps, so I'm trying to fatigue myself first, and this side of the cable doesn't work, so I've only got 1 cable. So pretty much like off the top of my head, we've got rope hammers, we've got kind of standing bar curls, we could do single arm curls as well. So I'll probably just rotate through a few of those, maybe do 2 sets on each, just see how we're feeling, and take you guys along with me. So first things first, I'm also still fasting every day until 10 PM, so every workout that you'll see, aside from that Muscle Factory one, that was like a one-off special, will be fasted. Today, going with a 0-calorie Red Bull, blackcurrant and blueberry, which is absolutely amazing. So I'd highly recommend you guys try this if you ever come to Thailand or Asia. But yeah, let's crack this open. Get the microphone on there. And I'll set you guys up for the first set. Okay, so first exercise, as I said, I'm going with a rope hammer curl. So I have done biceps in this hotel gym, so I already know what I'm accustomed to. Unfortunately, the full stack I can still do. And when I say unfortunately, obviously, realistically, you want to not be able to do max weight, so you've always got room to regress. Luckily, I'm not here for more than another day, so it's not going to be a case of like maneuvering rest times and trying to pre-fatigue myself and all that stuff, which I honestly just hate. Like, you know, just obviously it's much better to have the weight in the gym to be able to do that rather than to constantly force yourself to make things difficult. You know, if I literally was, for some reason, this is all I had access to for a number of weeks, I'd constantly be having to try and like maybe do pause reps or take less rest time or just do all these things to try and make it more difficult. But ultimately, that's not how I like to train. I like to train nice and heavy. I don't like to fuck about just constantly trying to think about how to make things harder, because to me, that's more of a mental exercise. So what I'm going to do is full stack here for around 15 reps at a slow pace. Granted, the last few will definitely not be kind of all the way up contractions, and then I'm going to go for 5 quick ones. And I just find for me, it's much better to do a few partials and a few quick ones when I'm doing these, because it doesn't risk any like muscle injury in my opinion. It's really good for burning out the forearms and the biceps, and just works fantastically. So let's rip this for a set, see how we get on, and then we'll go from there. All right, let's go. Full stack of risky. Let's go for more. High my. No. Cool. Good set. So you got more than I thought I would. That was 25 reps total. So, you know, say what you will about the partials, but they're still taking time. They're still taking energy, and obviously they're still working my muscles. So I don't ever time my rest times, but because I'm on a bit of a time crunch, I'm going to set a timer for about 2 minutes. So for me, 1.5 minutes nowadays is nowhere near enough time. I think because of how strong I've got. Obviously, my body's bigger than 5, 6, 7 years ago. I'm using more oxygen. I'm focusing more. The duration of the set, theoretically, like longer the set, the more kind of endurance I'm using. So I am going to require a bit more oxygen to be able to do the next set. So no rush to do it in like 60 to 90 seconds, but also not going to take more than like 3 minutes. So try and keep it around 2 minutes. If I really feel like I need a bit more time, then I will do that. But yeah, I'm thinking definitely one more in here, maybe 2. And then after that, I'm going to go for potentially some standing cable bicep curls, because I haven't done it in a really long time. And I think that'd be good to do. And we'll definitely do 1 or 2 sets finishing on incline curls. That'd be great. They do have an easy bar attachment which you can connect to the both pulley systems, but as I said, one of them is damaged, so it's just going to be a case of like the bar's going to tilt to one side. It'll be ridiculous, so I won't bother with that. There was one more that I said I could. Oh yeah, also standing bar curls. We'll definitely rip a couple sets of those. So yeah, still getting it done, still making sure to just really try and work as hard as possible, even with the less weight. Try and get a crazy shot on the bicep here. Right, 2 minutes up, so let's go for another one. Definitely I do usually take more than 2 minutes, like even for a set of bicep in between the rest, so this is gonna be tough. So we're aiming for the same, but we'll see how we get on. Line's a bit all over the place, but I ain't got time to mess about that today. As always, pub's most important. Oh man. Fucking hell. Yeah, to feel that one for sure, that was good. So that was 15 reps again, but then only 5 quick ones instead of 10. So, I'll tell you what, just because we're all set up and it's feeling good, we'll do one more on that. Then I'm going to move to single arm handles, 1 or 2 sets there, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, I probably won't record this next set, so we'll most likely just jump into the next exercise. Alright, we'll rep this one more. Why not just click the fucking record button? If you're bored, just skip ahead for the next one, but I'm gonna go fucking crazy on this one. Oh, fucking hell. That's killer. Guys, remember, no carbs at all, so this pump is completely fucking, I mean, depleted, but we've got some blood flowing. So, next up, let me get set up for this single arm carb. As I said, this side's fucked, so dropping it down to the other side. The only thing I would suggest for this is between the set that you just finished, or in my case, rope hammer curls, I'm not going to go straight into that next set with the left arm, because that single arm that I start with is going to be, from that last exercise at least, that's going to be more fatigued because it's had less time to recover. Once you actually start to, for example, if I just started on the single arm exercise and I started on my left arm, left would actually be stronger because I've got more kind of mental capacity to devote to it. I've got more focus. My whole cardio system is not being used on the other arm. So that's why I'd always suggest to you guys to start with a weaker arm. But if you are just coming from a double arm exercise to a single, then just have a little bit of a rest there. But yeah, let me set this up and we'll get back to it. Right, so now to a single arm exercise. This exercise in particular, I mean, sounds obvious, the exercise that I just did, it was a rope hammer curl. It is very similar to a hammer curl. So, you know, my hands are going to be neutral. Yes, I'm probably stretching a little bit further in front of my body, but it's still the same premise, okay? This one here, my hands, rather than being neutral, they're going to be supinated. So you can see there, straight away, just from twisting my arm, not even tensing, that just moves more onto my bicep. Obviously, if I tense, that's a bit different, but I'm now going for supinated, so a bit more biceps versus just biceps and hammer curls. And I'm stepping obviously further away so that I've actually got range of motion. And if I stand too close to the machine, when I come down, I'm going to get no stretch. So I have to take a little step forward here. Now, I used to do this exercise very, very frequently, but I wouldn't do it single arm, I'd do it double arm. So I'd stand in the middle of the cable, both arms like this, and then do curls up together. I think that's quite nice because you're balanced, you're symmetrical. However, single arm can sometimes put a bit of strain on my core and obliques and my breathing, which I just can't be asked for when I'm trying to train biceps. I'd much rather do an exercise that I can just completely fucking rip the biceps on. So I wouldn't personally like to do this every single session, but as a one-off, and I haven't done this in absolute ages, it'll be quite nice. And also because I'm not doing it every week, I'm not that strong, so I'm not kind of forced to do a crazy heavy weight that I would be doing if I was bulking, trying to smash this and hit a PB every week. So yeah, this will be absolutely fine. I've done 2 reps on each arm just to make sure I'm okay with the weight. So we're pretty much ready for a full set now. That was 7. Good. I'm not going to do any assisted passes on this one, but let's just go fucking crazy. Let's do that. So that's a bit of a tough one because usually when I do single arm stuff, I always pretty much fail on near enough the exact same rep, which is ideal, obviously, because I don't want one arm to be getting way stronger. But in that instance there, I could have definitely done at least one more on the right. But what I was trying to do is kind of trying to slow down the reps and make each one harder rather than just keep going for more reps. So on the left I've got 7. So when I did that 5th rep, and that was kind of quite clean, I was thinking to myself, right, the next 2, let's really try and make them as like physically hard as possible. But unfortunately I could have kind of still got one more now. Some people would argue go for it, but I would say nah, I want them to both be kind of at the same level. So hopefully by this one, right will be a bit more fatigued, but if not, I'm going to do the same thing and just fail intentionally on the same rep number that I did on the left arm. So hopefully that makes sense. Just some tips that I would suggest for you guys to incorporate if you are doing single unilateral movements. But yeah, so far so good. Let's do one more set of those. So one thing to note in between these two exercises here is that although I'm still using my whole system to do the other arm, that arm is still getting some rest. So, you know, once I've done this left arm, then I move on to the right. I'm not holding on to anything. I'm not using any of it for support or any assisted reps. It's just literally out of the equation. So at least that bicep can rest. So that means in between those sets, now I've just done right arm, I don't actually have to perhaps wait as long because that bicep's probably already had at least 30 to 45 seconds during that set to cool off. And because it's less weight and less reps, you know, the set before I was going full stack, 15, 20, even up to 25 reps, a lot more weight, a lot more endurance. It's going to take a little bit longer to recover from. So basically I probably only need now about another 20, 30 seconds. I'll be ready to do this left arm again. Keep the caffeine flowing. Obviously this is also aiding my fast because caffeine is a really good appetite suppressant. So use that, you know, nicotine, caffeine, they're all appetite suppressants, guys. No matter what you want to believe. I don't use nicotine as a tool for cutting weight. I'm just saying some people do. And if people say it don't work, then that's not true. So if you're really struggling, go fucking smoke a pack of cigs, down a pack of Red Bull, and you'll be golden. Right, let's rip this. So I'm aiming for 7. I honestly think I can probably rip this a little bit harder and just fucking get about 8 or 6. Let's fucking pick us up there, shall we? Yeah, boy. Oh. Right, so failed on 9. So I'm going to go straight into my right arm that's nice and fatigued. We'll move the camera. And then it will be a case of failing on that 9th rep this time, rather than the 8th. Camera's about to die, but we've got a spare battery. Right, I didn't realise what the time was, so I'm going to leave the standing cable curls because I've literally got 2 minutes until the gym's supposed to close. So what I'm going to do is rip at least 1 set of these incline curls, maybe 2, but I do want to get a pose down, so that won't be ideal to get kicked out when I'm posing down, but it is what it is. We'll get it done either way. So let me stick this seat down a little bit. That's probably good. Right. Potentially the last set of the session. We'll see how we get on. Depends how pumped up I feel. Let's stick a good song on. So these reps, I'm not going to chuck it about. I have got a little bit of a kind of niggle when I go all the way down like that. It just feels like the tendons around there are just not exactly 100%. Nothing too crazy to worry about. It's just obviously I'm not going to be stupid and just go like at a rapid rate. It's going to risk injury. So let's go for this one. And yeah, just see how we get on. Should be a fantastic set as always. Here we go. Yes, that was absolutely fine, Mel, but that's good. Nicely fatigued now as well. Fucking hell. Oh, I think that's good. So how many sets of that? That was 3 hammers, 2 single arm, and then 1 incline curl. So only 6 sets, not a lot. But as I said, at this point in time, basically, I've worked out 11 out of the past 12 days, but it's been, like I said, shoulders with no overhead pressing, just accessories. Then it'll be just biceps, then it'll be just triceps. Then I did a crazy back and bicep session, then it'll be just shoulders again, then just triceps, then just biceps. I did some calves yesterday as well, so each session's shorter and more frequent, but I much prefer and I'm looking forward to just crazy big long sessions, and if that forces me to take more rest days, then it's absolutely fine. So yeah, I'll tell you what, we'll go for a little kind of, I guess, well, not a drop set, not a superset, rest pause set. So try and get maybe 5 more here and then we'll call it a day. Oh, right. That was a good last set for sure. So let's secure a pose now. This room's actually quite good for posing, I'm not gonna lie, because there's quite a few lights. So let's set the camera up and we'll get to it. Right, this will do. So biceps only, not expecting a full body pump or anything like that, but should still be a decent one. So lighting, we'll have to make do. Doesn't look too bad so far. So we'll do stringer on first. String is from PROZIS. If you guys want a discount code is GBFITUK. That'll give you 10% off. Or if there's other discount codes, if you use both, you'll get a discount and you'll get a bonus like gift or something like that. So you can stack codes, which is pretty cool. Obviously not straight back, but for some reason I've just got a permanent chest and back pump, which I'm not opposed to. But yeah, let's get to the actual fucking pose down here. Currently sitting at 220 pounds, which is about 100 kg. Just wait for this line to relax. In fact, I'm going to move it around slightly. So yeah, abs are going to be the main tell when you get those really low levels of body fat. You can start to see here my serratus anterior, my obliques. They're coming in and then slowly going down as well, which is cool. Chest, you can start to see upper chest, mid chest, lower chest separations as well. Even delts are starting to split a bit. And obviously I know I'm a broken record, but don't forget, this is completely fasted. I've had no calories at all today, apart from probably like 10, 15 calories from the Monster and Red Bull and the coffee. So feeling very good. Even like in the mirror there, back's looking quite lean. But yeah, that is pretty much it, guys. So as I said, I probably won't get kicked out of here, but it's just more about principle. I don't want to be too disrespectful because staff here are really nice, and you know, they're nice enough to not kick me out on the dock. So we'll be getting some crazy gyms kind of filmed at, crazy pumps, getting more shredded. Haven't even got much of a tan yet because I've just been jet lagged and kind of focusing on more like going to temples and hopping around markets, etc. But when I'm at my own spot, we're going to have, you know, places to sunbathe and just way more time to just chill out in the sun and, you know, go on hikes and things like that. So it should be excellent. But so that's it, guys. As always, the only way is